locally, little town, community-based publications will start springing up, because that's where the newspaper needs to be, is close to its people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're missing. Now in Africa, I think with the age of the internet, and the internet is not a threat to us now. I mean, you've all seen statistics about the internet and penetration in Africa. I don't believe in a sort of one-man, one-computer scenario developing in Africa at all. I don't think it's going to happen, which is why I think newspapers will survive longer. I think our future in new media lies in the cell phone, or in the mobile phone, which as you know, has made massive penetration in Africa. Problem is, people are using it for communication rather than information. I mean, the cell phone is still there to talk to your friends, and you know, it's for social chit-chat rather than substantive information. And likewise, those elite, because it is an elite in Africa that has internet access, are attracted to the social media portion, unfortunately. Sometimes I think Facebook has been the death of us. But that's what attracts people to and that's what they think the internet is simply Facebook. And it's unfortunate. I mean, it is a wonderful thing, and it could be used to great advantage, to knowledge, to increase knowledge and capacity, but it isn't. It's just social gossip. So, you know, in short, that's the sort of scenario we face here. I think the strength of newspapers is still, and very, very important for literacy in Africa. I mean, I think literacy is vital. Because take away the newspaper in rural parts of all our countries, from here to Nigeria and further afield, what do the people really have access to? There are no libraries, there's no internet, and the newspaper is still something, at least, that even the school kids and so on can read on a daily basis, which is why I believe in sort of really elevating professionalism in our media. And one of the problems we face is what one could call a juniorization of the media.
Say that again?
Juniorization. There are a lot of trainees coming into the media now, and we don't deal with trainees anymore the way we did in the past. I mean, a trainee years back, you wouldn't let them get a darn story in the paper. They had to start with the basics. And
yes.
Nowadays, because of the pressure on newspapers, a lot of journalists are junior. Their stories are going in the paper. They're not the best of standards. Sub-editing skills are weak at best, and so there are a lot of problems. So what I'm doing now in the name of the Trust here right at the moment, because I've looked at various forms of training over the years. I've sent many journalists on training, and I've got to the point where I said, training, forget about it. Forget about it. Sending your journalists on courses to Zimbabwe and here and there and everywhere, and you lose them for 2 months, and they come back, and they really haven't benefited at all at times, because it depends on the aptitude and the keenness of the person. And often when they're in foreign capitals, or you send them to Johannesburg, they want to go shopping, they want to go, and they're worried about their per diems, and they blah, and it's an endless. So I'm a believer in in-house training to a very large extent. And what I've done over the years at the Namibia would bring in experts from outside to work with us for, say, 3 months, so that they can spend one-on-one time with individuals. At the moment, what I'm doing with the Trust, and I don't have a big budget at the moment or anything like that, so a couple of mornings a week I spend mentoring and training individual journalists, one-on-one, from all the media houses, and just working with their needs, what they need. I mean, a lot of these mass communications courses are just making people jack of all trades, master of none. To me, there's no point, if you're not going to be a radio journalist, to have radio journalism, production issues, bits and pieces. Rather focus in on what the real need of that journalist is. And so that's what I'm doing, whether it's strengthening their intro, their language, the construction of a news story, things like that. That having been said, what we lack in Africa is huge capacity for investigative journalism, I think. And this is a real problem, and I'm also trying to get my head around ways and means the Trust could be helpful with that, by bringing experts out, by working directly with journalists here. I've thought of the online issue as well, but I haven't got that far with it, just to do some of the training via online and then bring them to a place for a certain period to top them up. Because as you say quite correctly, a lot of the real stories in Africa I don't think are being covered here anyway. It's not through lack of will, it's not necessarily through repression of media, but it's simply because we don't have the skills. I mean, if you look at issues like here in Namibia, big talk about the oil industry that found offshore oil. The Brazilians are here, and it's all sorts of issues. Our journalists didn't have the skills to really do a major investigative issue into things that are so critical, and the outflow of capital from Africa and things like that is still immense. So that, for me, there are a number of challenges, as you can hear, for journalism in Africa, and I'm just trying to picture how your institute might fit in with that.